Hello, hopefully you're all doing good. Today's video, I'll be demonstrating how the game looks on mobile. There we go, portrait mode. Here we go. So, Chronos Trials RPG, for anyone who's new here, is a roguelike incremental RPG, very much based on Resolute Hero RPG and Inflation RPG. This is primarily being made for mobile, and today is the first day I'm testing it on mobile, which is really exciting because it works better than I thought it would, and I'm going to show you how it's looking. So we're just going to go to new game, and it's going to take a second to load in. That is something I've noticed. The load screens are a little bit long. There we go. So movement is really straightforward. You literally just click where you want to go. You can't really drag where you want to go, unfortunately. It is just a matter of clicking. But hold on. This is one thing I've noticed. The menu down here is good, but if you're trying to leave through a door, it's a little bit tricky. So I'm going to move where the menus are, make them a bit smaller so it doesn't block where you're trying to go. But here we go. As you can see, moving around the overworld is really smooth, actually. It's looking at like 30 FPS, maybe in the 40 region. I don't think it's quite 60, but honestly, it looks really smooth, as you can see. The only thing it isn't smooth is loading into combat. That is how long it takes pretty much every time, unfortunately, and loading back into the world also takes a bit of time. So I know why this is. I've got like 200 lines of code that happen before you actually go into a fight in that duration. So I can probably optimize that a little bit. So I'll see if I can reduce the load time. But part of it is just going to be, it's an old engine, it's a mobile game. There is going to be a little bit of a load time, unfortunately, regardless of what I do, because of the amount of stuff it does have to set up that I can't really change. Like, you're going into a whole new sort of scene, you're loading up all the assets, all the everything. So yeah, it's going to take a bit of time, I reckon, but I can definitely get it to be less long than that. So that is how combat is looking. Let's go and actually fight something we can kill. There we go, level 1 bat. There we go. So combat starts automatically, which is really nice, and you can see it only took 3 attacks to kill that. So the actual combat is very smooth. It's just the transition to it and from it that I'm noticing is a little bit laggy. Let's go to the menus. So we have our skill tree, and again, this takes a couple of seconds to transfer to, but honestly, it could be a lot worse considering it is loading an entirely new map that's quite large. So we're going to hit skill tree again to go back to where we were. There we go. We've got our menu. This is just, you won't have to visit this very much. This just has the options menu, which lets you sort of speed up how fast you move, which could be really handy if you want to sort of speed run the game a little bit. Let me get out of this real quick. There we go. We've got our achievements menu, which just has where all of the achievements you can earn, and you can restart your run as well from here. And if you do this, you keep everything you've discovered up until this point. So let's say you want to, like, there's a boss just here, you want to try and farm for its item, you can just restart the loop and just keep doing it over and over again until you get it if you want. I wouldn't recommend playing like that because it kind of turns into a chore, but the option is there. Restarting doesn't lose any progress you've made on that run. Then we have our equipment menu, and as you can see, it takes a second to open up, which isn't ideal, but it is what it is. I'll try and see if I can optimize it in any way. And you can see the menu is actually really quite easy to navigate. We have just all of our sort of equipment. We can double click on one, remove it, so we no longer have a dagger equipped, or we can re-equip it. There we go. The menu is actually a really nice size. You have all of your information that you need here, and everything's easy to click on. I don't really find them clicking on the wrong thing at any point. So yeah, I'm really happy with this menu, except for the fact you can't actually get out of it for now. If you hit the finish button, it doesn't work, and that's because whilst we're in this equipped bit, we're sort of locked within this window. So I'm going to try and see if there's a way I can add a button somewhere, or just make it so if you click here, it just comes out of it. That's the main thing I'm noticing once I'm on mobile, is there's a lot of menus that you get locked in unless you kind of use the joypad that the emulator I'm using comes with. There we go. So we're going to close the menu. There we go. Cool. So yeah, that's how the game's looking on mobile for now. In terms of content, there's a lot more content. I've put it all in the announcements and everything, but we're up to about level 4,000 for the strongest enemy. We've got about 47 combats going on now, so 47 enemies and bosses included in that number as well. But yeah, the game's looking really nice. I do need to optimize it a little bit. I do need to make some things more friendly for mobile, but the game works. And I was really nervous that the game would be like 2 FPS, it wouldn't load, it would crash, but it works. So mobile release, I'm feeling fairly confident for. Although one thing I will promise is if the game for mobile, for whatever reason, has some game-breaking bugs or has some major performance issues later on down the line, if it's kind of in a state where it's playable but it's not like a great time, I will just make the game free for mobile. I don't want to charge people for a game that doesn't work. So obviously I'll try and always release it in a good state, but if there's like some quirks or like I say this load time with the combat, that was a bad one. Yeah, there we go. If I can't fix that, if the whole game feels really sluggish and it feels like it should be a PC game, I'll just make the game paid on PC and then free on mobile most likely. And that is a promise. It does mean I won't make any money whatsoever for the mobile sales because I've got no ads, no microtransactions. I was planning to make it just a you pay it, you get it game, but I don't want to make people pay for something that doesn't work. So if mobile ends up being laggy and stuff, it will be free, and that's a promise. But for now, as you can see, it's pretty good. It's working. So yeah, if I could just fix the few issues that there are, mainly the combat load times, then I think we'll be good to go. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully you have a good day. I appreciate it. Oh wow, that was a very laggy instance there. That was rough. Let me see that again actually. Okay, it's fine now. Okay, it was just that one calculation it was struggling with. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you have a good day. If you're not in the Discord server already, I'll leave a link to it in the description. And I post almost daily updates on how the game's doing in there. So yeah, feel free to check it out. Thanks for watching. See you later.